Hello, and thanks for joining us on Encore. Coming up on today's show, we take a front row seat with all the celebrities at Paris Fashion Week as heritage brand Christian Dior showcases its spring-summer collections with a feminist message from its new creative director. Staying on planet fashion, Indian designer Rahul Mishra brings a bucolic vision of style to his ready-to-wear show. And we get a private concert from Amjad Ali Khan as the Sarod maestro opens the Namasté cultural festival here in France. If all the world's a stage, then all the city is a catwalk here in Paris as Fashion Week sees the beautiful people strutting their stuff on the podiums and on the streets. At Christian Dior, the brand's first female creative director unveiled her collection to unanimous applause. Maria Grazia Chiuri wore her heart on her sleeve, or indeed on the front of her t-shirt, with strong feminist slogans and some whimsical evening wear, referencing Dior's storied past. Josh Vardy has this report.
They adore Dior, and they're not alone. The Rodin Museum in Paris was stuffed with celebrities for Dior's Fashion Week extravaganza, from Jennifer Lawrence to Marion Cotillard, Laetitia Casta, and the star du jour, Rihanna, all desperate to feast their eyes on the fashion house's creation for the season, all put together by Maria Grazia Chiuri.
You know, women understand women, so I think this is going to be a beautiful departure for Dior.
I'm happy it's a woman, an Italian woman.
A designer unafraid to wear her beliefs on her sleeve and proclaim a Dior evolution or revolution. It's ambiguous. A catwalk filled with t-shirt slogans and thin belts, evening dresses worn with flat boots, and a lot of sportswear. The stylist says she saw her collection like the start of a Dior narrative epic.
I started this story. I hope that in the future I can tell more about this story.
As a nod to the famously superstitious Christian Dior, imagery from fortune tellers and tarot cards also popped up. You didn't need a crystal ball to determine how the audience felt.
It's a step up for her and for the Dior fashion house.
It was a desirable catwalk, full of fantasy. It was really Maria Grazia.
Maria Grazia Chiuri brings an original touch to the Dior world. More of her work can be seen at the Haute Couture shows in January.
And in addition to the more established brands, Paris Fashion Week's a platform for the best of design from around the world. Rahul Mishra was back in Paris for his fourth season, showing a collection that takes in his signature use of fine embroidery mixed with gingham and fresh, vibrant colour. The young Indian designer has made a name for himself in recent years and says he finds inspiration in the natural world and the delicate balance of the ecosystem.
Inspiration started from Henri Rousseau's work, the famous French painter, Donnie Rousseau. So I always loved his work, like from the beginning, how he would paint forest, he would paint. There was effortlessness, there was child life within his work. Henri Rousseau's work, which was done almost 120 years back, was really handy. Because probably he was lucky enough to see some of the forest reserves which no longer exist.
He's been called the Indian Eric Clapton, but Amjad Ali Khan is not wielding an electric guitar. He's the undisputed master of the sarod, an ancient stringed instrument with links to the lute and the sitar. It's a key sound in Hindustani classical music and has graced the stage of Carnegie Hall and Philharmonic orchestras the world over. We met with Amjad Ali Khan as he opened the Namasté festival, hosted by the Indian Embassy here in France. Amjad Ali Khan, thanks for joining us here on France 24. Now, you're known as a master of the sarod, this instrument here. Can you explain to me how it works?
The word sarod means music. It's a Persian word. And this instrument is made of teak wood. It has 19 strings, 19. 11 is the sympathetic strings. they provide natural harmonization, natural vibrations. And the last four, they are for the drone. And I play on the first four string. And the important thing is that I have to press the string with the edge of my fingernails. Sitar, violin, cello is played with the fingertip. Like if I play sarod with fingertip, it is very dull sound. But to bring out the human expression, I have to press with the edge of the nails. So the whole song can be played.
And sometimes the sarod sounds like a guitar, and one newspaper compared you to the Indian Eric Clapton. What do you think of that comparison?
I'm honored. I'm I used to admire his guitar, and he was a legend. But there is yes, it does belong to the family of guitar.
And the sarod, the instrument, was developed by your ancestors. Yes. Your father was your guru, and you play with your sons.
Yes.
How does this fit into your family life, music?
I'm very fortunate that I was born in the family of musicians. And so I didn't have to go out and learn. So it is a sense of responsibility. The child has to realize, because this is our wealth. I'm not a rich man, but culturally I'm quite rich, and musically I'm blessed. So I tried to introduce music to Aman, my elder son, and then after 2 years, Ayan came to the world, to our life. So we introduced the music. They both showed interest, and they have been accepted by the whole world. And they play solo also, they play duet, and sometime on a special occasion like this India Festival, all three of us are playing together.
When we see you performing, it's without sheet music, you're not reading. How do you remember the compositions?
We have an oral tradition. We improvise, like jazz music. Jazz also improvise. But there's a concept is different. The jazz musicians, they have a freedom to use all the 12 notes, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. But we don't have that kind of freedom what jazz musicians enjoy. We have a discipline that we have to improvise only within certain notes, ascending and descending. There's a rule of every melody, which we call rag.
You've collaborated with many different artists, many different musicians from different backgrounds. What have you learned working with these other people?
You see, music has connected the whole world. All the musicians of the world, we are like one beautiful family. I think all the musicians, all the creative people, maybe some of them may be radical, I don't know, but majority of musicians and creative people are very liberal, and they are supporting peace and tranquility and harmony in the world.
Now you're playing in London at a festival, but initially there was a problem with your visa being refused. That's been resolved. How did you feel about this setback?
There was some confusion, I think, between the visa department and my organizer who invited me in England. I have very close relations. I performed in St. James Palace and Highgrove for Prince Charles and his friends. And I've been visiting since 70s. And I love, European audience. I love audience of London and Paris. Actually, I feel that I'm a world citizen today, because I feel comfortable anywhere in the world where I find music lovers, people who love music. I feel at home.
We're finishing off with a film that's making waves in India right now, with a story that tackles the issues of harassment and sexual violence. The courtroom drama features 3 young women up against a system that questions their morals and their actions when it comes to dealings with men. Director Aniruddha Roy Chowdhury started filming in Delhi on International Women's Day. He said one of his aims with this film was to change mentalities among women and men. We'll leave you with a clip of Pink. Remember to check out our website. You can also keep up with Encore on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
I'm bored, you coward. So stop talking and come and show me what you can do.
Then let's go. How long have you been soliciting?
I do nothing of this sort.
Objection, Your Honor! You are a woman of questionable character.